All right, I think we're getting pretty close. For those who are already here, if you don't mind, can you use the chat function and just say hello? Tell us which company you're from, which location you're dialing in from. That'll be great. We want to make sure you're able to express yourself using the chat. We're still waiting for a few more people to join. Awesome. I start to see some names here. We have somebody from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Netherlands, California. It's awesome. It's a fairly global audience. All right, I think we'll get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining on a busy Friday morning here in the US. Appreciate you folks taking the time um, to join this session. We are going to talk about Fusion Supply Chain Analytics release 24R2. And if you go to the next slide, a quick look at the safe harbor because I will be sharing the roadmap. We might make a few statements here and there, which may be more reflective of what's coming up on our roadmap. So just a quick look at the safe harbor statement there. Next slide. I'm joined by multiple colleagues of mine today, so I'll very quickly go through the introduction here in the interest of time. Um, Kaushik is not here today, but he might join. He might be answering some questions in the chat. Brahma will be presenting today. He leads supply chain and procurement analytics. Sangamesh uh, is our lead product manager on order management, inventory, shipping area. Karthik is going to be answering questions on the chat today. He leads our efforts on manufacturing and planning analytics. And Jamie is our co-host for customer advisory board. She's our community leader. Everybody, if you don't know Jamie, drop her a note. You will see her reaching out to all of you at some point. She runs our Oracle Analytics Leaders program as well. Jamie, thanks for joining. Now, in terms of agenda for today, we will take a quick look at the roadmap. I'll just hit a few highlights on 24R2 roadmap, what we've delivered. I'll speak to a few things which are coming up shortly, and then we'll spend the rest of the time talking through some of the key features in supply chain management, procurement, and there are some common features that we have as part of 24R2. Now, just for context for everybody, Fusion Data Intelligence is the umbrella family that we talk about when we say FDI. It does have multiple products, ERP, analytics, supply chain, HCM, and CX. We are going to be focused on supply chain analytics in particular today for this discussion. Also, we have application releases and platform releases. Our focus today is going to be on 24R2 application release. This release is already available to all of you if you are an existing customer. And our effort today will be to make sure that you have insights on the latest and greatest features that we have released as part of this release. The slides that we are sharing will be made available to you on Customer Connect. We also plan to upload the recording of this session in case you have colleagues who were not able to join today and you would want them to listen into the latest and greatest functionality. You should be able to point them to the recording. Product documentation is always a good starting point for any new release. If you go to our FDI product documentation and go to What's New section, that's where we typically provide all the key features and also the details are available as part of the product documentation. At some point, maybe we'll show you how to navigate to the What's New section. That's something that you may want to bookmark for future releases as well. I already see that folks are using the chat, so thank you for that. This is, we want to keep it interactive, so please use the chat window to ask questions. We'll be answering questions throughout the session, and let's keep it make it an engaging dialogue. All right, with that, we'll dive into the roadmap a little bit. So, as I was previously mentioning, we're going to focus on 24R2 for this session today. But very quickly, you can see that we have three major swim lanes there: inventory and costing, procurement, and order management, where we have delivered features today as part of 24R2. Picking and shipping, we have made some enhancements. We made some enhancements on enterprise contracts, receipt accounting, and then draft sales order subject area improvement. That's that's a big use case that many of our customers are following up on. So Sangesh will speak to that. In the upcoming bucket, there are a few important ones that we have highlighted here in blues. This is just for your information. You should expect that coming through in next couple of releases. Manufacturing and maintenance, we are working on work order costing subject area. That'll be a new subject area, and that will be launching at some point in next couple of releases. Next one there is maintenance. That's one more. So as you know, we already have a good set of capabilities on the manufacturing side. Now we are expanding to look at maintenance work orders, and that's something that is in design as well. On the procurement side, receipt accounting, we have received some feedback from customers to add more account details, especially account dimensions. That's something we'll be doing. We also had feedback from some customers where for purchase orders and agreements, you want to know more in terms of change orders and approval history. So we'll be adding some attributes and measures around that in one of the upcoming releases as well. On logistics front, we have been testing connector for OTM and WMS over the last few months. We are working on some improvements, especially performance improvements, and our goal will be to get this into a preview mode. What preview means is you will be able to self-select and subscribe to these connectors and start using it to bring data from Oracle Transportation Management as well as Warehouse Management Cloud. So it's a very important area for us as well. If you have any interest in exploring OTM or WMS connectors, please do put your name in the chat. We will capture that and we'll reach out to you. We have a lot more that we are thinking about in the future bucket, but when we talk about future, it's really more reflective of our long-term roadmap. But there are some areas that we have started to think about. Just one or two I'll call out there. Sourcing analytics is something that we are looking at. WMS analytics, and we mean by WMS analytics, we talk about prepackaged WMS analytics, especially on the inbound side. That's something we are looking at. We started to kick the tires a little bit on the product hub. Sustainability, the last one that you see in future, is something that we are working on as well. So I'll stop there and hand it over to Sangesh. You're on mute, Sangesh.
Thanks, Ash. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to connect with all of you today. My name is Sangesh Hiramat. I'm part of the SCM Analytics team. Today, I'll be walking you through the new features related to supply chain execution, specifically draft sales order, shipping cost, a few rebuilt analytics, and the preview to OptiGA feature. I'll start with the draft sales order and draft sales order whole subject area. One of the good thing about this specific release is that we have brought a lot of features which are all requested by customers. All that I'm going to talk today were requested by customers. They were part of our design, and then they have shared what they wanted, and we have tried our best to provide what they need. To start with, draft sales orders, was requested by multiple customers. As part of this, we have supporting sales orders which are in draft status. Earlier sales orders was only for the ones which were in submitted status, but now we are covering all the non-submitted status, like draft orders which are in draft, approval pending, and credit review pending status. This draft sales order also supports the sales orders and RMAs which are in draft status. And then we support drafts which are on hold. We support active holds and draft. Also, the different item types like standard service, ATO, PTO, these are also supported. To do the on the currency side, we support the document and the analytics currency. This helps to give some of the key insights, like what are the different sales orders and lines in draft status. It also helps to understand the different statuses, like credit review pending. This was, as I said, one of the customers has asked, they wanted to know how many orders have failed credit check and it failed. And there were some customers who are looking for approval pending. They have submitted for approval and they do not know the status of that, so they wanted to analyze that. So that is covered, and it gives the count of those sales orders which are on draft and hold, along with these statuses. I'll be demonstrating all these things in the system. This is just to give you a highlight. There are some important things to consider. This is in preview mode. So what customers have to go activate this functional area, and it will be made available with the order management duty roles. On the right hand side, you can see all those different dimensions which we have covered as part of draft sales orders, and also the holds. I'll be showing that in the system today, but this is to give you a very high level overview. It covers the majority of the dimensions which were in the sales orders, and same with the holds also. We have tried to cover the maximum possible and applicable ones for draft sales orders. These are some of the metrics. Once again, I will show them in the system when I'm demonstrating these sales orders. We have covered as many metrics as possible on the analytics currency charges, and also on the draft sales orders. What are the different count of draft sales orders which are in pending approval and credit review pending. On holds, also we have covered two metrics: fulfillment lines on holds, draft sales order count on hold. We also support DFFs for draft sales orders for item, customer, and customer account. Same thing on the hold side, we support customer and customer account, DFFs. Apart from draft sales orders, we have brought another key feature which was long pending, and it was being requested by customer, that is the shipping cost. To support shipping cost as part of the picking and shipping subject area. This includes the total shipping cost and the shipping cost. We support shipping cost at different, like shipment header level, packing unit level, and shipment line levels. Customers can get a complete view of the shipping cost at all the possible levels supported by Fusion. We also support transaction and analytic currency as part of this. It helps to understand the shipping cost and total shipping cost at all levels. That is what I was trying to refer. Once again, this feature is provided as preview in 24-hour to release. What this means is, customers have to go to enable features and enable shipping cost preview feature. They have to activate it in order to make best use of this. On the right-hand side, you can see different dimensions and metrics associated with this. We have covered all possible, attributes related to the shipping cost details. I will once again, demonstrate this in the system. You'll be able to see them. And on the fact side, we have covered the metrics, shipping cost and total shipping cost at shipment level, packing unit level, and shipment line level. The next important thing which is covered as part of this is current inventory balances feature was in preview until now, but now this has been moved to opt-in GA. Opt-in GA, is a feature where you'll have to, it's as good as general availability. It is just that, customers have to go to enable features and go and enable it. But in practical purpose, it is as good as a GA feature. Once again, as I said, if the customers who want to use it have to go to enable features and enable this current inventory on hand balances functional area. This is how the screen looks. When we go to earlier, you used to click on preview features. Now you'll have to click on the general available features and then enable that. Moving on to the next. We have another pre-built analysis, that is the current inventory balances workbook. This is having enhancements to include the inventory balances dashboard. This way here you can see the inventory balances quantity which is in receiving, inbound, in transit, and consigned quantity. You can analyze the inventory by category, and also you'll be able to review the historical inventory balances. To view this, you'll have to use the duty role. That's a new one called inventory current on-hand balance analysis content duty. This is how the visualization looks. So now that I have given a high-level overview of what is part of 24R2, I will quickly jump to the system and show you these features in. Okay. The first thing which I would like to cover is the draft sales order. Let me just pull this up. Okay. I'll start a new. So most of you are familiar with these FDI, SCM Analytics. So this page I have gone and, I've selected the draft sales order subject area here. This is the draft sales order. This is draft sales order holds. As I was referring, these are different dimensions. Some of the important things to note is, what are the holds and the different attributes related to holds. We also have the hold details. So system, hold applied by, and other details. I spoke about DFF. We have the sales order details. And important thing is the new facts that we are supporting as part of draft sales order holds. That is fulfillment lines on hold count and draft sales order count on hold. This is what we have on the draft sales order hold. Similarly, we have the draft sales order subject area. This covers all the dimensions which were there as part of the sales order, majority of them. And you can see, the new facts related to sales order. Whatever was supported earlier, like quantity order, written quantity, written order count, lines count. And there are facts specific to draft sales order, and there are count of orders in draft status, orders in pending approval status, and count of orders in credit review pending. I will start with one standard report related to this. Let me go to order header details. Okay. I'll quickly start with one of the reports. Order, I'll pull the order business unit. Let's pull one of the business units here. Sales business unit. And then I'll go to order status because this is what was requested by customer. And then the order count. I was referring to some of the draft orders related metrics. This is the count of orders in draft status, pending, and review pending. Yeah. So you can see that we have order status which are in draft, approval pending, and I don't have anything to show on credit review because I don't have that data, but you'll be able to see the different orders. If you want to see that detail level, you can also pull in the order number. Okay, let me just pull the order number. And if you want to see the orders by status, I can just pull it here. Okay. Yeah. This are the different, this is the common orders that you can report that you can run. And, I have some reports here, which I had pre-built. You have the fiscal year, the sales business unit, vision operations, approval pending. You can see all of them, order quantity, order, everything is showing here. Similarly, we can see the report by order type. These are the different order types that we have, and we also have it for sales order holds. I was referring to the order type or hold holds here. This is the hold name, hold create activity, hold create ship, hold supplied, and so on. This is just showing the count of orders in pending approval status and create review pending. So this is what I wanted to share as for the draft sales order and draft sales order hold. If you have any questions, you can put it on the chat. I'll be happy to answer them.
You can see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Sangamesh. And I'm Ramamurthy from Oracle Analytics Product Management Team. I'll be covering features that was rolled out in supply chain and procurement space. If you have any questions, please type in the chat, question and answer chat. The first feature I'll be talking is COGS and gross margin analysis workbook, which we delivered this specifically for cost accountants. So this is a predefined or pre-built workbook. So to enable this workbook, you have to have this duty role called COGS and gross margin analysis duty role, or sorry, content role. With that, you can able to see this pre-built workbook. So this workbook primarily uses COGS and gross margin subject area, which is rolled out a few releases back. With this subject area, you can actually able to see what's my recognized revenue, what's my recognized COGS, and what's my gross margin by different levels. One is you can see by business unit level. So other one is by customer and by product. So here we try to showcase with this workbook using the key metrics like what's my recognized revenue, what's my recognized COGS, what's my margin, and what's my margin percentage, gross margin percentage. This all works by different dimensions. So here in this visual, so we are trying to see for past 2 quarters, what is my revenue. And here I have used for all business unit and all cost book and all warehouse. Okay, so this is a sample, but with the subject area, you can do a lot. Moving to the next feature. So we have this feature called unit of measure conversion. So this was a preview feature for some time. This was launched in 23 or 22 R1. Now we made it available as a general feature. So whichever subject area has unit of measure, this feature shows up. So primarily what happens is we have transaction unit of measure and a primary unit of measure. So when we are trying to do analytics, so we would like to roll it up and see at the primary unit of measure, because the transaction can happen in a different unit of measure. So that's what this feature helps. So you want to do analytics using primary unit of measure for all the transactions. So this feature is available GA. And as I said, in all the subject areas, it will be showing up, and you would be able to see some attributes like unit of measure conversion factor and some attributes related to primary unit of measure. Moving to the next one. So we had launched a cost accounting subject area for cost accountants. So this was rolled out as a preview subject area in 22 R3. Now we are making it available as part of the product by default. And to enable this, you have to enable a functional area called cost accounting. And whatever features were available before, you should be able to see now. Moving to the next feature. So we have rolled out manufacturing subject area in past 2 releases. Now, there were some minor enhancements we did. One is we added a new metric called total resource cost, and we did some renames to the metric. Earlier, we had a metric called resource count and labor count. So that's got renamed as equipment resource count and the labor resource count. So that's all I had in core supply chain space. I'll move on to procurement. Now, with this feature, receipt accounting feature, we expanded procurement cost management coverage. So we had rolled out receipt accounting subject area in 23 R4, but that had only transactions and distribution details. Now with this release, we try to cover accrual analysis also. So in order to cover accrual analysis, we have come up with 2 subject area. One is called accrual balance at receipt and accrual balance at period end. So the accrual depends based on how the business flow is, whether your business flow, whether you are receiving at asset location or at the expense location. So that drives the how accrual works. So now we have a kind of complete package for receipt accountants come cost accountant. Now, in order to enable this feature, so you have to enable a functional area called receipt accounting functional area. So once you enable, so you will get all these 3 subject areas. Okay, and this feature is available both in supply chain and ERP SKU. Now, what are the key insights you can get from this subject area? First thing is you can able to see the accruals, how much you accrued by business unit, by inventory org, by product, by supplier for a given period. So then, and also how much accrual is pending or what's my accrual balance by business unit, by inventory org, by supplier for a given period. And also you can see like how much quantity you received and how much is for which it's not invoiced. That also you can see. So on the right hand side, you can see the important dimensions we support. Like we support the time dimension, the business unit, supply dimension, then the product dimension, and also important attributes on the purchase orders and some of the receipt details. So in this release, we have two subject area. One works at the receipt level, so other works at period end level. The subject area for which the accrual happens at the receipt level, so you will be analyzing at the event date. So when you receive it and when you push that to cost accounting, when the receipt accounting distribution runs, so that's when you start accruing it. And similarly for expense location, so it happens during the period end. So you can do the analysis or you can see what was your balance at the period end. So that's what you can able to see with the subject area. And there are some key enhancements we are planning to do on this. One is to support the accounts and also some more additional attributes on purchase orders and receipts. That's planned as part of the upcoming roadmap. Moving to the next one, we rolled out earlier a feature called Enterprise Contract in 23R4, and we got some feedback from few customers to enable party and party contacts. We didn't support in the initial release because this dimensions or this feature, you can delete them. So whenever there is a delete, what happens is the source and our warehouse application, right, that goes out of sync. Hence, we didn't support in the initial release, but we understand the importance of it. So hence we worked on this release and we got this feature out. So as part of this feature, so now we support party and party contacts. So there are two parties involved here. One is the organization who creates the contract, and the other one is the supplier. So both you can see by looking at party type, and there are different party contacts. Like on the organization side, you will have contract administrator or the category manager, so or the buyer who are the contact persons or the role. And on the customer side, they would be similarly, or not, or on the supplier side, there would be similarly the leads who will be working on the contracts. So you should be able to see those. Now, in case in source, right, for a particular contract, right, you are deleting party contact details, right? Now, what happens is when you run incremental loads on regular basis, right? So this details won't sync up. Like whatever you deleted, that record doesn't come into warehouse. So what we need to do is, that's where we need to enable this feature, the new feature we have called Enterprise Contract, Party and Party Contact. So if you enable this functional area and if you activate this and if you run this, so what happens is this will sync up the data. So whatever you have deleted in source, that also gets deleted. Basically, what you are trying to do is you are doing a full load of this dimension into the source, into the warehouse. That's what we try to accomplish here. And this is available in both ERP and supply chain pillar. The next feature here, again, this was asked coming from customers. So here we have procurement category hierarchy and supplier category hierarchy dimension. So what was happening is, so here, when we try to use this hierarchy, and when you are trying to see the total, it was not matching. When you sum up all the category values, it was not matching. So now we found the cause that for items which did not have category, this was not considering. Now we handled that use case, and now we can able to see that the total for the product hierarchy, or sorry, procurement category hierarchy or supplier category hierarchy matches. That's what we try to do with this feature. Now, next is common features between supply chain and procurement that I'll be covering. Here, in this feature, we have the GL segments, part of account combinations, right? So in supply chain space, we have a purchase order subject area, which has accounting details. Requisition subject area has accounting details around charge accounts and accrual accounts, and spend has account details, and COGS and gross margin has account details. So these has something called GL dimension folder. So we had seen that there were some performance issues. So what we tried to do is we found the cause for the performance issue. So then what we did was, what we figured out was each segment, right, in the account combination, we had one jumbo table. So that was causing the performance issue. So what we did was we broke up by segment each the tables. So earlier we had one jumbo table. Now we have 10 tables. So that part of enhancement we did. So there is no change for customers. In the presentation layer, you won't see any change. So behind the scene, we have done the mapping. So now, whenever you try to analyze by GL segments, you would see better performance. That's what we try to do. And in 24R4, we will be deprecating the old table, and this is the new table which we should use. And we already have this table available. And if you are using any of these tables, so please start using these tables. And the next one is related to presentation hierarchy. What is presentation hierarchies, right? For an example, if you take manufacturing work orders, and in that we have item category hierarchy, and we have something called a presentation hierarchy. You can see this one, what we saw was it was causing a lot of performance issues. So now we started working on this. Meantime, we don't want the system to break. So what we have done is we have hidden this hierarchy. So if any existing reports been built using this, it will work. So only if you are trying to build any new report or new analysis, this won't show up. So this change has been made to these hierarchies, and you can also see the details in what's new documentation. And we are working to get this back, get this feature back. Then the next one is we have a lot of pre-built workbooks or analysis we have, which is given to customers. So there we try to enhance. The first enhancement what we did was there is a feature called single select. Like example, if you take a workbook procurement spend category, here we have a ledger type. So earlier we did not enable this feature, wherein you could able to select multiple ledgers like primary ledger, secondary ledger, reporting ledger. So now we enforce to use a single select. So now what happens is at any given point you can able to select one ledger type, which gives you the meaningful result. Because if you take more than one ledger, you're just doubling up the number. So that's what we try to do. And similarly, there are cases we added mandatory filters, right? So that we have enabled, and also we defaulted, means we use the default capability to default a value. So that's what we did. And also similarly, we have something called limit value, means basically if I select a year, right, it will tell me for this particular year what are the relevant quarters. It doesn't show all the quarters available for all the years. And similarly, once you select a quarter, so whatever the required periods, that it will show. That's what this limit value by feature is, that we try to implement in few workbooks. And similarly, what we did was we changed the time horizons for some of the workbook. Like example, they were workbook with lengthier time period. So we made sure that we keep it in a reasonable window. That part we did. And some of the look and feel to make it appealing, that kind of change we did, like changing the background color, adding some dashboard tiles, and then these filters, and then space between the visuals and some font styles. Those changes was done. So whatever changes we have done, we have listed out that in the what's new documentation. So if you refer those, you can know what changes we have done. And then the last one is we did some bug fixes. So some of the feature what you saw were kind of some bugs. So additionally, this was one bug we fixed in requisition or as part of data validation, right? In requisition metric. So there was a bug wherein the currency was not showing correct. So initially it was referring to the distribution currency. So what we did was, as part of this fix, so we fixed it by using the requisition line currency. So that's what we tried to do there. That's one. And then the last one, I want to talk about the documentation part. But otherwise, we are done with what features we rolled out. So where to see the details of what we have done, right? So if you log into this URL, which is the URL for our Fusion Data Intelligence, once you log in, so you would be seeing what's new. That's where you can see what are the features landed by release, and then what are the preview features we have and frequently asked question. And for supply chain space, you need to come here. So I'll just get into the environment and show so that it will be easy. So here, I had put this in the chat window. So once you click this, so you will land here. So now in order to see what's new by release, you click here. And here you can see what are the features rolled out in 24R2. So 24R2 was released in the month of May. So that's what you can see here. So by product, so whatever we discuss is it's in the supply chain space here. So whatever we discussed, like Sangamesh covered draft sales orders, and I covered receipt accounting part and the other enhancements. And just now I was talking about the enhancement we did on the pre-built workbook. So whatever details we changed, you can able to see here. This is about the features, and whatever issues or the bugs we fixed, you can see from the document ID, from this document ID. And the next I would like to showcase is the preview feature, right? So there are a bunch of preview feature we roll out. So if you want to see what are the preview features, once you click there, it will take us to this. And again, by pillar, you can see I want to see what are the preview features available in supply chain. So now earlier receipt cost accounting was part of this documentation. Now I made that as general available. So now you are not seeing that. Now Sangamesh had shown one opt-in GA feature that also part of the documentation. Here you can able to see the current inventory balance feature, which is an opt-in feature. And then details about what subject areas we have, what metrics are there, what pre-built analytics we have built. So you can see by coming to the reference guide here. So in this place, you can see those details, like what are the subject areas available, what are the pre-built analytics we have, and also frequently asked questions. And there are some known issues which we know already, and we are trying to fix those. So you can see all of those. So that's all I had, team. If you have any questions, please let us know.
Rama, there were a couple of questions in the chat. If you go back to the slides, maybe we can answer those. So the first one here is from Sweta from KPN. If you go to slide 19.
Okay.
So the question is, are there any plans to improve the performance of other hierarchy dimensions as well? Currently, we see performance issue in the item category hierarchy when we try to use it as a filter. So I think it's related to some of the hierarchy changes that we were talking about.
This one there was no performance issue here in this enhancement.
I think maybe a couple of slides down when you were talking about hierarchy changes.
This one. This one.
Right.
Okay. I understood, Ash. This one right here for account segments, we had performance issues, so we tried to address. So now, Shweta, you're saying there are issues in item categories. So we would like to know, Shweta, if you can log an SR or anyway, we have a monthly meeting with you, Shweta. So we will touch base with you there. Either Karthik or I can touch base with you on that.
So we'll follow up with you, Shweta.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next question here is from Philippe. The question that he has is, I think that was on slide 18. So if you go a couple of slides up, he's working with a customer who would like to see on the party dimension. So that customer would like to see site number and site name. How can I add this data into the data set?
Yeah, we do support supplier and supplier side. We would like to know more on that, actually.
It's under the supplier folder, you're saying?
Yeah, supplier side, we do have a separate dimension. So with that, we can able to see.
Okay. So Philippe, take a look at that. Hopefully that's helpful. If that doesn't answer your question, you can always reach out to us. You can log an SR, or since you're from OCS, you can look us up in the directory and you can reach out to us as well.
Also Idea Labs hash, because it's a new feature, and if it's a feature is missing, so they can use Idea Labs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think those are the only questions that we had. So we're probably towards the end of this presentation. Just want to thank everybody for joining again. Our intention is to have these sessions after every application release. So we will be providing a release overview. We already did one for ERP. In case you want to know about ERP analytics features, which were part of 24R2, please go check out the recording for the session that happened a few weeks back. It's available on Customer Connect. And we will upload a recording of this session, the presentation also on Customer Connect. And please anticipate that we will be providing follow-on sessions as well as new releases come out. One last request, Rama already mentioned that. If you would like to see any additional features part of the product, we would highly appreciate if you can go to Idea Labs and log your request there. With that, thank you everyone for joining, and see you next time.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.